Most Americans don't even think about having enough food in a crisis until it's too late. Like when the hurricane's barreling down on them, or that catastrophic earthquake strikes, or a tornado rips their town a new one, or wildfires ravage their community. And by then, like I said, it's too late. They have to trust luck, or turn to dear old Uncle Sam to bail them out. And others, like you, I'm guessing, understand that depending on Uncle Sam isn't much of a plan. And so these good people, patriots, do worry about having enough food stored away for a crisis. And I know, because for a long time I was one of them, scraping by each month and barely having a few extra canned goods to show for all my efforts. So it seems pretty easy to stockpile when you're rich. But I wasn't, and I had to work hard for everything I put aside for darker times. Until one day, it all changed almost overnight. I took a trip with my church to South America, and believe me, I don't say this lightly, that trip changed my entire life. And if you'll watch this free presentation all the way through, I promise to tell you the eye-opening story of what I discovered deep in the Andes Mountains. What I've unearthed has the power to change your life as well. So you'll never have to worry about having enough food for you and your family. You'll never have to wait hours and hours in Uncle Sam's soup line. And you can take pride in knowing your family will be incredibly well fed in any crisis. Now how? What if I told you there was a superfood out there that's been lost to history for the past 482 years? It's so nutritious that it sustained the great Incan civilization through a 4-year super drought that all but wiped out their southern neighbors. This superfood is a snap to prepare, requires no refrigeration, and has a decade-long shelf life. The Incas would simply store it in pit holes and feast on it year-round. Now, while their civilization has long since perished, their lost superfood was just recently unearthed by NASA scientists. Realizing its potential to resist extreme conditions, they've started giving rations of it to our astronauts during their month-long space missions. In fact, they found the recipe to be so effective that they classified it to keep it from hard-working Americans. But because of my trip to the Andes Mountains, I made it my mission to blow the lid off what I would call a diabolical cover-up. Every American deserves to have access to this now top-secret formulation. And finally, what if I told you that you already have every single ingredient in your kitchen to make this lost superfood right now? That's right, it doesn't have to cost you a dime more than you've already spent on groceries. Now, wouldn't you want to know about it? Then please pay careful attention, because during this short and very controversial presentation, I'll reveal exactly what this lost superfood is and how you can easily and quickly provide it for your family starting today. I'll also uncover 2 more long-lasting superfoods that we've lost to history. And guess what? Not even NASA, the CIA, the FBI, or FEMA know about them. Yet. Having them in your pantry will place you miles and miles ahead of the average American while banishing any and all fears of starvation for good. You'll never ever have to worry about whether or not you'll have enough. You'll never have to wonder if you can afford to provide for your family. And what's more, you can even have more than enough to provide for your neighbors as well. Hi, my name's Claude Davis, and I'm an Old West expert with a deep passion for understanding the skills and knowledge that allowed our forefathers to build America into the great country it is today. Now, what I've told you about so far are just some of the many things we've lost to history. I'll also show you a few more remarkable ones that shouldn't have been forgotten, things that I've unraveled in the past 2 years and managed to save for you in The Lost Ways 2nd Edition. 2 other superfoods that cost almost nothing to make that'll keep you and your family well fed no matter what happens. One was praised as the Great Depression food miracle. The people that knew about it banished hunger for good, while the rest were starving and tightening their belts. Not only will you learn the exact process of making it the right way, but you'll use it to preserve meat and create one of the most finger-licking, mouth-watering, tastiest foods you'll ever eat. And the best part, it lasts up to 2 whole years without refrigeration. And the other food was also long-lasting, invented by one of the most vicious samurai in history. It was born out of war and necessity. So don't expect a gourmet meal here, but do expect this samurai superfood to be so nutrient-rich and probiotic-packed that you and your entire family won't need anything else for months on end.